All right, today we are diving deep into one of the biggest, creepiest mysteries in all of gaming, Poppy Playtime. We're going to break down all the hidden lore, sift through the wildest fan theories, and unmask the true villain hiding in the shadows. But before we get into all that, I want you to think about something. What if those toys you loved as a kid, what if they never forgot you? And more importantly, what if they never forgave you for leaving them behind? That exact thought, that's the terrifying heart of this entire story. So, to really get Poppy Playtime, first we have to understand the chilling new genre it's a part of. It's a kind of horror that takes our own childhood memories and, well, it weaponizes them against us. People are calling it mascot horror, and the idea behind it is brilliant, simple, and honestly, deeply disturbing. You take these friendly, cartoonish characters from childhood and you twist them into absolute nightmares. And these games almost always take place in locations that are supposed to be safe and fun. Pizzerias, toy factories, daycares. But now, they're just these abandoned ruins hiding some dark corporate secret. Now, this idea didn't just pop up out of nowhere, but man, did it explode into a huge cultural phenomenon. It all really started back in 2014 with Five Nights at Freddy's. That game basically wrote the playbook. Fast forward to 2021 and Poppy Playtime comes along, takes that formula and just perfects it, going completely viral. And the genre is still evolving, which just goes to show you it has a serious hold on us. And you can really see how this genre has changed just by looking at the characters themselves. Take Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's. On the left, her original 2014 design is kind of clunky, very unsettling. But by 2021, her design on the right is way sleeker, more feminized. And some researchers have pointed out that this kind of mirrors the evolution of characters like Lara Croft, designs that become more sexualized over time, even while all the merchandise is being sold directly to kids. Okay, so let's move on and see how this all connects. We're stepping inside the Playtime Co. factory now. Think of this place as our crime scene. The clues to what really went down here, they're hiding in plain sight, baked right into the designs of the toys themselves. This right here is one of the game's most clever tricks. On the right, you've got the terrifying Mommy Longlegs. But on the left, that's Betty Spaghetti, a really popular doll from the 90s. And that resemblance is 100% on purpose. The game's creators are tapping into these half-forgotten memories to just totally blur the line between childhood comfort and pure terror. But it's not just a creepy nostalgia trip. As some researchers have noted, when these monsters become real-life merchandise, they often fall back on some pretty old-school marketing tricks. They end up reselling these old-fashioned, gendered stereotypes back to a whole new generation of kids. The whole cycle just repeats itself. So the whole story gets pieced together through these hidden tapes you find, and two of them are absolutely vital. The time tape hints at this really tense relationship between a mysterious doctor and the game's ultimate big bad, the prototype. But then, the untitled tape drops an absolute bombshell. Poppy, the doll this whole thing is named after, is actually the daughter of the company's founder. She isn't just a toy, she's basically the ghost of the factory. Okay, this is where things get really interesting, because through this entire nightmare, there's been one friendly voice helping you out, guiding you. You'd think you have an ally, but in a place like this, can you really trust anyone? That voice belongs to a kid named Ollie, talking to you through a little toy phone. He's been your lifeline, right? The one glimmer of hope in all this darkness. But did you ever stop and think, who is Ollie really? And then, at the very end of Chapter 4, the floor just drops out from under you. Poppy tries to call Ollie for help, but the voice that answers the phone, it's cold, it's monstrous, it's the prototype. He's been faking Ollie's voice the entire time, leading you exactly where he wanted you to go. Your one and only ally was actually your greatest enemy all along. I mean, the deception is just total. The facade was Ollie, this helpful little kid. The reality is the prototype, a super intelligent monster who orchestrated the massacre that destroyed the factory and has been playing you like a fiddle from the moment you stepped inside. So, if Ollie is the prototype, what does this master manipulator actually want? And maybe more importantly, how do the other toys see him? Is he their leader, their savior, or is he just their captor? Well, one of the biggest fan theories out there is that he's basically set himself up as a god. Some characters, like Catnap, literally worship him. A theory over on Reddit suggests a pretty chilling possibility, that the prototype uses this religious devotion to demand sacrifices. convincing other toys to let themselves be, well, consumed, all for the greater good of the colony. Now, look at this promotional art. It's a direct callback to Michelangelo's famous painting, The Creation of Adam, but with one critical change. In the original, God is on the right, giving life, but here, the prototype is on the left, in the position of Adam, the one receiving. He's not giving anything. He's trying to take something. And it turns out their goals are in total opposition. The arts designer actually confirmed it. See, the other toys on the right, they're desperately reaching for the humanity they lost. But the prototype on the left, he has a single obsessive goal. He's not trying to save anyone. He just wants Poppy. Okay, for our last section, let's zoom out a little. Because the horror in Poppy Playtime isn't really just about jump scares. It's a dark mirror held up to our own world, reflecting the anxieties a lot of us feel about the digital platforms that kind of run our lives. Think about it like this. The all-powerful, super secretive company Playtime Co. is basically like a digital platform. Think YouTube or TikTok. And the mascots, like Huggy Wuggy, well, they're the content creators. They're trapped in the system, forced to perform, and their very existence depends on the whims of this huge, faceless corporation. And the prototype, he's the one who figured out how to break that system. An in-game log reveals just how smart he is. He once escaped a high-security cell by taking apart a digital alarm clock to build a laser pointer. He used it to fry a camera, giving himself exactly 28.3 seconds of unsupervised time to hide and ambush a scientist. I mean, that's the level of genius we're dealing with here. And that genius is what led to the Hour of Joy, the bloody massacre where the toys killed every single employee in the factory. As the academic source puts it so well, this wasn't just random chaos. It was a revolt, a bloody, terrifying metaphor for creator burnout, for what happens when the creations of a platform are abused by the system for way too long. And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. The horror we make often reflects what we're scared of as a society. So, if today's mascot horror is born from our fears of being trapped and controlled by these massive digital platforms, what new nightmares will our future anxieties create?